think it's possible. We are two different people. Mas Monica's an entirely different person and we're just not compatible. Even if we weren't, I'm not sure either of us would, want to be the other one, I guess. I guess it's just transferring memories. But even then, I'm not sure she'd want them.
Plus, the Rifto, would you even want that version of Monica to have those memories? After all, this Monica here is one that has grown and moved on much more than that Monica has. She still cares about you, of course, but she does not live for you the way that Monica does. She has a life of her own, separate from you. If what you desire is the mass mod If what you desire and the mass mod is that Monica's attention is solely focused on you, then would you want to ruin it with this Monica's memories?
Why?
For that matter, should you prefer Monica's attention solely focused on you?
It's not like they have a ton of choice. What good is it to them to have a Monica who just lives independently of them?
What good is it to you to be a Monica that has no life independence of some person she cannot ever be with?
Let's just move on.
Yeah, getting too heavy. Next! My first email for the Literature Club. How's everybody doing? Hopefully great. Sorry in advance if any questions have already been asked. For Monica, if you could, would you want to code or edit in something massive like a college life for everybody so there'd be some sense of normality in your world? I feel like there's pros and cons to being stuck in your senior year of high school, plus there's the thought of, well, if you can code in this, why not code in X, Y, and Z?
I guess this one kind of answered itself, huh? But yes, the temptation of modifying many things is strong. I guess we're just kind of hoping to live normal lives, mostly. But at least we get to go to college now, yeah.
For MC, from bland protagonist to watching his friends die horribly to being reduced to a hollow shell who can't speak to being able to code everybody back and break the game to become his own man, that's one hell of a story. That aside now, that everything is seemingly more normal now, about as normal as your situation can get anyways, would you be into joining other clubs like you originally intended before Sayori stepped in? Things like the anime club, for example, or are you content with being in the lit club? Well, that's definitely a way of putting it. No, I'm happy with the literature club. Who knows, maybe in college I'll get into the other activities. But I don't know, this club is special. I guess you pretty much understand why. And so are my friends here. We went through a lot together. No matter what happens in our lives, I'll always feel close to these girls. For Sayori, you're a lot more devious than you let on, you know that? Feels like if you and Natsuki teamed up, you could pull off a major operation behind the scenes and nobody would know about it until it was too late. Question for you is, what's your least favorite food and the least favorite dessert? Also, I played your mod, Natsuki Quest, and that was the best one of the bunch in my opinion. Is a sequel coming?
Devious? I guess maybe sometimes I do some devious things. But I don't always mean to. Sometimes I just do mean or tricky things without even thinking about them. Just the way I am, I guess. But anyway, my least favorite food is probably okra. And my least favorite dessert is anything having to do with durians. Durians are gross. I have nothing to add to that. Thanks for playing Nazi class. I'm really happy everyone loved it so much. It was a lot of work. Maybe I'll make a sequel. I don't know yet. After all, it was a lot of work, like I said. So we'll see.
Less work if you figured out how to code it better. For Natsuki, speaking of operations, the master of them. If I recall, though, you've never officially divulged all the details to your OP in getting MC and Sayori together. I feel like enough time has passed. Would you be willing to share the details now? Or at least with me? And don't worry, I'm fully aware of the consequences of leaking information. Also, are you a professional wrestling fan? You seem like you'd be a professional wrestling fan. I could totally see you clobbering MC with a chair one day for no reason, professional wrestling fan.
No! Never!
Yeah, now what is this even about? Like,
To our graves, viewer! To our graves! And yeah, I watch professional wrestling now and again. I like NJPW. Not sure I'd call myself a fan, like I don't watch it all the time. But if professional wrestling's on, I can dig it. And yes, when my heel turn comes and it's time to bump MC, I'll definitely smash him with a chair shot.
looking forward to it. For Yuri, how's it been going with you? Between you and me, and everybody else reading the email, you're my personal favorite of the entire group. Don't tell anyone. That being said, though, I hate to break it to you, but in my personal opinion, manga is literature. I feel like as long as it tells a story, there's not really a reason to discredit it or other things as literature. Hopefully you don't hate me too much for that. Speaking of literature, though, I've been thinking of getting back into reading books, especially now that summer's coming. I used to read a lot growing up, but around middle/high school, I started falling off with that and haven't gotten back into it, but I'd like to think I'm still a pretty good reader. Do you have anything you could recommend to me? Also, I do enjoy horror and thriller books, so if that narrows it down at all, there's that. Thank you.
Yes, well, Well, I'm very much used to viewers having favorites. Don't worry about that too much. Don't worry too much about that. As to your point about manga,
God, here we go again.
many things can tell a story. If you walk into a home and see a large hole the size of a fist in the wall, that tells a story. Is that literature? I would think not, which is why I use the definition I use. Of course, I don't hate you for having anything different. It's merely a difference of opinion.
Hey, that's not what you say to me about it.
You are a special case, beloved.
Yeah, well, you're a nerd.
Indeed. Let's see. I've made a few book recommendations over the time you've been with us. How about Dune and Dune Messiah? Or with those new films coming out, it's very topical. I love Dune. It's one of my favorite stories. I strongly recommend those 2 books at least. The rest of the series is of variable quality, but those 2 are very good. Give at least the original novel Dune a try and see how you like it. It's not exactly a horror or a thriller though. But if you read it, let me know what you think. Let's see, for horror, my standing reference is the works of Ramsay Campbell, especially The Inhabitants of the Lake and the Less Welcome Tenants. Try that if you're in the mood for something horrifying.
For Miss Ida, you're part of this now. Now that you've been somewhat settled in, what are your current thoughts and feelings on your reality? If you could, would you go back to not knowing what you know, or would you keep the knowledge you have now? Or you now have?
Good question.
Oh, I hit the box.
I don't mind it too much, really. My life is not too different. I guess I don't have to be the club president, so I don't have to have that strange feeling rubbed in my face like the girls do. I don't know, it's a little strange, but mostly things stay the same, you know. For me, it's just been another weird curveball life throws at me that I have learned to deal with. Hope that answers your question.
From Sinatsuki, you guys should totally host another big round of Truth or Dare, but this time with everybody.
Maybe. Maybe we will email her. Maybe we will. Except never with everyone else doing it. Yuri and Siri are not ideal Truth or Dare players. And to be honest with you, I'm kinda afraid of playing Truth or Dare with Monica.
You should be.
Yeah!
For Monica and Yuri, I've actually been thinking about making my own mod in the near future, potentially a horror mod, inspired by the canceled game Silent Hills, or otherwise known as PT. I've never made something like this before, so do you have any advice on mod making, or how to make things scary? Any tips would be appreciated.
This has been another emailer who had a lot of questions.
Oh, hush, Naughty, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I know, I'm just impressed.
Yuri, you want to take this one? You're the expert.
Certainly. There are many ways to inspire fear. Jump scares are one, for instance, but that is a cheap, that is cheap, a mere startle. Real fear, deep fear, the fear that gnaws inside of you, that comes from a sense of something wrong. Something your mind cannot make sense of. If I tell you that vampires exist, and they have these well-set rules like mirrors and daylight and such, well, that might be a little scary, but it will not truly be horror. Because it's understandable, your mind can make sense of it. We fear most what we do not or cannot understand. You must cause that sense of dissonance, that sense of unresolvable wrongness. I have spoken on this topic before, but recall the original game. What is scary about Act 2 is that you do not really understand what is happening. It is difficult, no doubt, to really do this kind of horror effectively through a visual novel format, as I myself have learned. But it is clearly possible. I wish you the best of luck.
For everybody, have you guys ever played the side stories for the base game? It's on console, specifically PlayStation. But you could probably watch it on YouTube if none of you have it or played it. It's sort of like a prequel of sorts to the base game and how everybody got into the club. At least it's its own interpretation of those events. Thanks for answering everything, and thanks for letting everybody be part of your crazy adventures. Nem.
Yeah, as mentioned above, we not only know about the side stories, we experience them retroactively. They become a part of our memories. Thanks for asking us questions, Ned. It was a very thoughtful email.
Next!
Hey Natsuki, as the baking master of the club, would you mind giving mine and my mom's creations a rate out of 10 based on how good they look? Your multiple mums. And Sarah, can you rate them on how much you want to eat them right now? Thanks, you guys are the best. Jody.
Oh, baking picture time. Let us partake! Alright, so I'm gonna do the professional evaluation, and you do the all-consuming gremlin evaluation.
You got it!
Nice cupcakes.
10! That looks so tasty!
Yeah, it looks pretty good. I'm not exactly sure what the flavor of those toppings are. Looks like maybe a caramelly salsa or some similar flavored frosting, maybe. Could be some kind of, or some chocolate or peanut butter, who knows? Only a couple of tips on this one. The first one is that you needed to mix your batter just a little bit more. I can see that you have an unusually high number of air pockets in the finished product. Classic sign that you didn't quite fully incorporate everything into your batter. They're pretty small, so not really a big deal, but just a good thing to know going forward. The other thing is just kind of aesthetic. The cupcake is brown, the frosting is brown, and the sauce is brown. Brown on brown on brown. This cupcake is screaming for just a little bit of color. An easy way to do it is just with gold color sprinkles. But flavor-wise, I'm betting that these cupcakes are pretty rich. So maybe you could put something nice and tart and colorful on top to cut through it a bit. Like half a strawberry maybe. Just wedge it right into the frosting and boom, color and a nice fruity bite to let you enjoy the richness underneath. Overall though, would definitely eat these as they are. 8.5 out of 10.
Brown is a flavor.
10! It's like a pie, but
With legally indistinct chocolate circle candies, yes!
it looks chocolatey and delicious.
Yeah, it probably is. I definitely eat that whole thing in one sitting anyway. Technique-wise, again, here you probably could have mixed the batter just a little more. Nothing that's going to affect the taste at all. But you'll get a slightly better texture by really going to town on that batter. Also, I think this could have done with another 5 to 10 minutes in the oven or so, depending on your taste. It's baked, but unless you like it pretty soft, it maybe could stand to be a little crunchier. But that's just a matter of personal taste. I rate this one another 8.5 out of 10.
Yeah, it's hard to get a high grade from you.
From me, 8.5 out of 10 is a high grade. Do you know how hard it is to get something perfect when baking? I don't think I've ever baked something that I'd call a 10. Maybe a 9.5, sometimes really. Anyway, next one.
They got us little pretzel handlers.
9.5.
Why not 10 on those or these two?
I'm not sure. Because they're smaller, maybe. But I bet they taste really good.
Well, these are super adorable, I'd say. I love how the pretzels are the antlers. A lot of movements in the presentation here. Technique-wise, it's not really a high degree of difficulty, so I can't give it much more than an 8, but it was executed very well. No real complaints.
You should have made the eyes match.
10!
I don't think I understand your grading system.
The marshmallow clears are cute and they look tasty.
Yeah, they look kind of tough to construct and balance, too. The cupcake underneath is pretty normal stuff. But just because that marshmallow dude construction is so on point, 9 out of 10. Well built. Let's do the next one.
The little chocolate dip cookies.
10! Oh my god, 10!
Sierra really wants to get her hands on these. I'm not exactly sure what they are. They're like churros with the churro dusting. Hard for me to grade. They look kind of normal. Although they're pretty wavy in a regular soda. And maybe you're relying on that chocolate sauce for the flavor. I could be completely off, but I'll give these a 7. Best I can do since I have no frame of reference. Moving along.
Oh my gosh, 10!
Now this is what I'm talking about. This is a multi-layered pastry which is already hard, and the top layer is really artfully done. Someone put a lot of love into this. There are a few cracks in it, but who cares? Other than that, the only imperfection is that, again, I think this could have used just a smidge more time in the oven. Still though, this kicks ass. 9.5 out of 10.
Oh, you really like these.
They'd be hard to do. Plus, like I said, someone made these with a lot of love, and that's what really matters.
Oh, definitely a 10. I love both of these.
They both definitely look delicious. I'm gonna grade them separately though. I believe that's peanut butter in those sandwich hearts. Those I'm going to give a 7.5 to. Simple and effective, but basically just looks like a normal sugar cookie. It's a very well done sugar cookie, but can't go higher just because of degree of difficulty. Now the jelly cookies, that's another question. Those are actually sneaky hard to make. Getting the shape of the hole right can be tough, even ignoring everything else. I can see that 1 or 2 of them got slightly wonky, but mostly you have almost perfect circles here, and that's awesome. So those get a solid 9 from me. Very well done. Overall, I'd say you did a really good job. No big problems, and absolutely everything looked delicious.
Really delicious.
Just make sure you're thorough about mixing batter, and maybe play with leaving a couple of those thicker pastries in the oven for just a little bit longer. See if you like that firmer texture. But like I said, on the whole, totally killing it. Well done.
Next!
Say, alright. I think we've had questions about pets before, but I figured I'd go a little more in-depth with this one. If you were to own a dog, would it be a smaller dog or a big dog? I can see pros and cons to owning both, but I personally prefer small dogs over large ones. They're easy to take care of indoors and they're perfect for cuddling. Large dogs seem like they'd suffocate all whom they'd lay upon.
Another multi-parter. Serious first. I like both kinds of dogs. They're both good at different things. But you're right, small dogs are very convenient. And they're super cute also. So yeah, I'd have to go with the small dog. Although big dogs are great, I love them too.
MC, have you heard of a game called Wildermyth? I remember being really interested in the game when I saw the trailer and bought it when it came out, but I haven't played it since because I have too many things to do. But if you decided to play it or have played it, thoughts? Oh yeah, I played a little bit of Wildermyth. I played a couple of stories in it, enough to get the idea of it. Kind of a procedurally generated RPG with turn-based squad tactics as the combat. I thought it was pretty interesting. Unfortunately, I have a pretty severe gaming backlog as it is, so I didn't spend that much time on it. But I've been meaning to go back and spend some more time on it. I think it's well worth the time investment from you. Miss Ida, do you ever have moments where you wish some part of physical science could just be negated? For example, you have to try and fit some books on a shelf, but when you place the books, they slide off the shelf to the shape of the books stacked on the shelf, and the shape of the books that you're stacking. Wouldn't it be great if you could just touch the books and go, don't slide anymore, and have it work? Of course, you could use this power to just say no to gravity if you wanted.
Oh boy, be careful what you wish for. I feel like that's some monkey's paw wishing there. As soon as you decide to increase the friction coefficient, you'd cause a lot of traffic accidents. And also the world would probably enter a bunch of chaotic tumult. Let alone what would happen if you turned off gravity even for a few seconds. Everything in the universe, and especially our fragile human world, depends considerably on the consistency of the laws of physics. So I certainly wouldn't tamper with them. Even if some trickster spirit said it would only apply to only me, I'd be pretty suspicious. Tempting as it may be.
Alright, well, I think that is a good place to call it for now. I can't believe we did not get through all of the emails in the first block in 2 hours, but you know, they send in a lot of emails. That's going to do it for now. So thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and we'll catch you next time with more Club Meetings Season 3. Hope to see you then. Bye-bye.